We need samples from Mars. We have Martian meteorites, which means we have small rocks that happen to come from Mars. You don't know that? So how is it possible for a rock that comes from a planet to end up on Earth and for us to know it comes from Mars? Actually, that's the second question, which is almost more interesting. The first one is here, I have a meteor coming in and bam, it makes an impact. We see lots of impacts. We have millions of them. We usually notice a small mountain in the center since gravity pushes it up. But look, there are small dots all over the center, except for the bright one there, Copernicus. Actually, all of them. What happens? It sends out material, and the impacts are strong. You know, they're so strong that the initial object is vaporized, it disappears immediately. There's so much heat that it's vaporized. Afterward, it pushes into the ground, cracks it, and ejects material that falls back. Calculations show it's ejected so forcefully that there's often an ejection velocity. And so each impact puts material into the solar system that ends up around the sun. So an impact on Mars creates material that falls back onto Mars plus material that ends up orbiting around the sun. Then it shifts slightly and drifts. It's complicated, but it could affect Earth. In our daily rainfall, we receive meteorites every day and see many of them. They burn up in the atmosphere. So you have shooting stars. We love shooting stars. A shooting star is like a cherry pit. It enters the atmosphere and burns up. But if the object isn't the size of a cherry pit, but is the size of a plum, it doesn't burn up completely and hits the ground. We pick it up, and generally at the time it was a farmer, a peasant, who found a rock in the field and then brought it to the Institute or the Natural History Museum, for example, here in Paris. And then he would say, can you analyze it? They'd say, oh yes, it's a meteorite that fell from the sky. And these can be very old objects. They're objects that are older than those we find on Earth. Why? Because, as I told you, we didn't have a past. That's how we found, for example, objects that are 4 or 4.5 billion years old.